Good afternoon. I read this article about a hyperglot. That's an individual, I believe it's more than 9 languages, a lot of languages. A polyglot, I believe, as I recall the definition from Google and places like that, is 5 languages or more. This article was about this guy. He's a carpet cleaner, and he can speak a number of languages, a variety of languages. They're not all the same types of languages. Virtually every type of language he can speak something. And they list his levels of proficiency. Some it's conversational, some it's fluency. And interestingly, in this article, as I recall, they mentioned that they did a brain scan of hyperglots, and they had a hypothesis that the activity for language would be pronounced in the scans. Yet, ironically, they found the opposite. They found that there was very little activity. So they hypothesized that meant that hyperglots and polyglots are very good at processing languages. They do it so efficiently that it's not as much as we who are not that. Some of us here want to be that. So what can we learn from this? One of the critiques I get from people who teach me languages is that I'm trying too hard. Putting too much effort in. It's too hard. It's too hard. I'm going too hard. I need to relax more when I'm saying these words. So maybe if I was like these hyperglots or polyglots, then it would be less activity. So we need a hack that we can learn languages efficiency. So we can work on that. And I've found some tips that make it more efficient. And maybe we're going in the direction of make it where we can pick up languages really quickly. So that's the key, is because it can be tons and tons of work, and tons of work. Like the old saying is, you want to work smarter, not harder. So we want to work hard at finding a solution to this. As time, we've worked hard in our languages, yet if you don't have to work as hard to get the same end, then it may not be virtuous to work hard for the sake of working hard. As much as working hard is great, if you can do something more efficiently, some say you work hard at developing a system and a process rather than having to chase in your own tail over and over. So friends, what could be the solution to learning languages quickly? What could be a hack? It seems unmanaged. There are some people who do this full time, and that makes sense. They can devote a lot more energy to us than we can. Language learning is not something I do full time. I'm not getting paid for it directly. I have translated books in other languages using AI, and so I get some money for that. Yet, the bulk of what I do is not directly related to this. Yet, it's very important to me, so I'm figuring out how we can hack this. Friends, let's work towards the end of hyper-polyglot and polyglot statuses. That would be awesome. I love languages. It seems like I have an average or below average ability in languages, so it'd be great to find some ways to do it better. What's this got to do with Aspies and Asperger's syndrome? Some classify Asperger's syndrome as a language disorder, or at least a different approach to language processing. And some also say, like I've heard Temple Grandin say this, that Aspies are very good in some ways and very bad in other things. It's very, very, very dramatic. So maybe that gives us a unique position to develop language processing opportunities. Like I've noticed before, is when you have something that's difficult, when you have a major problem, you're more likely to fix it than if you have a minor problem. You can get by with a minor problem. I use the example of braces, for example. When I was a kid, my brother and I both had teeth that were not the best. Yet mine had more of a problem, so I got the braces, my brother didn't. And likewise, if our way of language processing is having more difficulty in society, whether it's good or bad is another story, another conversation. Some are going to say that the way we do things is okay, it's different. Others are going to say we need to conform. So if our way is way different, it's more of a problem, at least a problem we have to adjust, then we're more likely to fix it. So then we can build everything from the top up, and it can be more powerful. So we can find ways to make language better. This article, it looks like now it's behind a paywall. I read it a long time ago, and it may not have been under a paywall before, so I trust you can get it. If not, I've shared enough information about it for you to understand it fully. So this is going to be an important aspect of getting towards the languages that we want to know. Like I've said, people say you want to work smarter, not harder. So that's important, because although working hard is key, and it's a value I hold dear, you don't need to make things unnecessarily difficult for yourself. If there's a more efficient way of doing things, you need to do that. So let's get together and let's think. Get together. Not, I don't intend that as literal. Get together mentally, intellectually, and we can think of ways. I got some ideas as I'm looking through all these languages, how to get better, how to process languages efficiently. It's hard because my impulse is I want to learn something. I want to be proficient at languages, so I try harder. Yet Taoists and people like Wayne Dyer are going to say sometimes you got to do the opposite. You work hard to extent, yet you got to let go and rest for a second. A muscle needs to rest. They say you go and you rest, you go and you rest. So maybe what I'm doing is go, and not resting. Like the feedback I've been mentioning, people have given me, the tutors and such. So maybe there's some way to do this where you go and rest, and we can do this efficiently, and we can find ways to process languages efficiently. It's a great goal. I am passionate about languages despite my average or below average ability. Thus, I want to do it better so I can get more languages, yet still do all the other things I need to do it, because I can't do this 100% full time.